Hi everybody, welcome to the exercise dissection. So we're going to be going through the side lift exercise because that's the exercise that seemed to be causing the most struggles with. And it is genuinely an exercise that a lot of people struggle with themselves. They struggle with finding the connection in the obliques because it involves a lot of this lateral bending. And we don't do an awful lot of that, as you know, we don't really do an awful lot. Let me get rid of my socks, and you guys can see. So we're going to be looking at breaking that exercise down. Now, unfortunately, again, I'm on blinking Facebook Live, and I can't see any comments on the screen. I can't see any questions, so I will have to just jump on my phone in just a minute. So looking at this particular exercise, it's done on the side of the body, and there's been a couple of questions that have come through regarding lying on the side of the body and why is it so hard? And another question was, am I unfit because I can't do it? So my answer to all these questions is no, you're not unfit because you can't do this exercise. Your body doesn't know how to do this exercise yet, so it doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing. So we need to help it to understand that. Why is it so hard? Well, sometimes that's because of body dimensions. Sometimes those of us who have larger hips and smaller waists find that more difficult. Somebody who is straight down will also find that might find it quite difficult. And in regards to the question I had about, it was a personal question, so I can't answer that because we haven't had a private consultation, and it would be completely unprofessional of me to answer that question specifically. But what I can say is if you're lying on the side of your body and you get a deep pain in here, it could be one of a few things. It could be that you have bursitis, and bursitis will heal up over time. It could be that there is a labial tear in that area, which won't clear up, but keeping the joint strong will also help. An MRI would prove that, but they're quite hard to come by. And it could also be that the head of your trochanter, so the head of your femur, not your head of the trochanter, your greater trochanter, the head of your femur, is quite pronounced, and your hip cup could be quite shallow. And we're all different. So if you look at everybody's hips, if every single one of us in this group went for a X-ray, and that we would come back and everybody's hips would look different. There's quite a few of you in here who have worked with me because of dog agility. And we know from looking at dogs' hips that all of their hips are scored and that their hips look different. And the shallowness of the cup and the shape of the trochanter, the greater trochanter on the head of the femur, that is indicative of how this is going to feel. Some people are bonier than others, some people have shallower hip cups. So it could be that what you guys need is you just need a little bit of cushioning there, so you might need to get a towel and fold it up and put it underneath your side. But I'm going to break this exercise down and show you exactly how we can do this exercise without too much trouble, or to actually just start to get a little bit of activation in the first instance. So you're going to bring yourself onto your mat and you're going to lie down in that position so you are straight. You ideally, unless you've actually got one leg longer than the other, ideally everything should stack up. So the ankles should stack up, the hips should stack up, the shoulders should stack up, and the head should sit on top. Now, the first thing says if you find yourself and you can see your toes, then you're not in an upright position. So this hand goes in front of the chest, this arm comes back, and ideally you want to be in that plumb line arrangement. Then your ear is on your arm and your head's looking forward, so your chin is looking up. So always look up, always keep your chin up, as they say. And then rather than trying to lift my legs off the ground, because I'll start using my back muscles if I haven't got the strength or I haven't worked out how to do this yet, I'm going to keep my feet on the ground. All I'm going to do is I'm going to think about my hip bone. So my hip bone here is trying to get to the bottom of my rib here. And I'm just going to think about using the muscles in the middle, the obliques, to bring my hip to my rib. And you can see that my top leg is starting to shorten. And then I'm going to release it back again. So I'm trying to get this contraction here in the obliques. Now you can do this without lifting the legs. They feel like they want to lift, and that's okay.
Also, what you can do is you can do this without feeling it in your back as well. So if you can feel it happening and activating your back, just bring your legs forwards. And then you're just going to get that activation there. And if that's all you can manage for the first week, let's just do it like that, yeah? So just think about having to find that connection between the hip and the rib without getting the back muscles all excited. Think about lengthening your tailbone away whilst you do it, and then you can shorten the front a bit more and you'll feel the muscles underneath your fingertips activate and less in the back. You will get some activation in that part of the body because you're going to get activation, but you don't want it feeling like that's firing up far more than these guys here at the front. And the obliques are really important, especially for those of you that do a lot of sport, because they do involve that rotation and that lateral side bending that I know a lot of you in dog agility do a lot of. So this is quite an important exercise for those of you that are doing any kind of sport. And then once you've got that, then you'll start to feel that these legs are actually easier to lift up off the ground. They only have to hover an inch maximum. And then as you start to get a bit more control, you can reach from here, because the leg lift is a consequence of the oblique activating. That's why I decided to put this top on so you could see. So you can see that this here, my obliques are kicking in to lift my legs off the ground and then coming back down again. They're just releasing off. So it's these muscles here that are the guys that are doing the work. So the leg lift is a consequence of these guys kicking in and going, oh yeah, we can do this. So it could, like I said, it could be simply because you just haven't worked out how to do that yet. Your body hasn't worked out, the brain and the body aren't communicating to each other. And that's fine, that's normal. You might also find that one side is easier than the other, and that's also completely normal because you are left-handed or right-handed. A lot of people who are ambidextrous may find that they're fairly even on both sides, but if you are left-handed or right-handed, you're going to find one side easier than the other. So have a go at this, see what it's like. I'm just going to quickly check my phone to see if we've got any questions. I can't see anything coming up on my screen because of how wonderful Facebook is. That's why I don't use Facebook Live. I used to use StreamYard, but it doesn't see that anybody is there, so that's fine. Looks like I'm on my own. So one person's work, one person's there. But yeah, so guys, if you have any questions about this particular video at all, then pop them in this box and I will answer them later on when I get home, because I'm working now for the rest of the afternoon. So I hope you found that exercise breakdown helpful. It's a great exercise for working on side bending, and especially those of you who go into your sports and you do different things, different range of motion. It gives you nice and strength. It holds the trunk up as well, so it's a really important part of the body. But I hope you found that helpful, guys. And have a great weekend. I will be live again next week, but I will be checking in just to see how you're getting on with your Pilates in 10. Bye.